Good afternoon. This is Jeremy Williams with Sewer Line Inspectors. We are here at 1716 and 1718 Griffith Park Boulevard, performing to prepare a video examination of the main sewer line. We just entered into the line from a small clean out by the laundry in the top or backmost structure. This property has technically several sewer lines, or at least a couple. We're starting from the furthest back point. Just entered into the line. The portion of piping here is a material called cast iron. It's a metal. It rusts and corrodes over time. Cast iron has a design life expectancy of about 60 to 80 years. It is a pipe that will inevitably fail. As over the years of rust and corrosion, the pipe walls eventually rust all the way through to the point where cracks and or holes start to form in the piping. The trick with cast iron is no tests currently exist, save digging up the pipe and cutting it open, that will determine the remaining pipe wall thickness in any area. So it's impossible to predict cast iron's eventual failure. That it will eventually and inevitably do so is really the only thing that can be said with absolute certainty. As of right now, the cast iron looks older. It's showing signs of age. However, it's showing no signs of failure. So that's nice. How long it'll continue to last, as I've explained, it's unfortunately no one can tell you. But just kind of guessing off of its visual condition, I'd say it's probably in the 10-ish year range. Usually pretty accurate with that. Now right here we're transitioning into a clay piping, it looks like, and you can see the line starts to fill entirely with roots. And we've now got just this little space left. And just ahead, I don't think we're going to make it very far here. We made it past, and that's awesome. We're just going to keep on moving for now. I don't want to risk that. Sometimes it's just luck that you get through something. Now, clay piping and roots, very common and typical for one to have the other. Roots do, however, rely on a very regular maintenance, usually about once a year. Now, failure to properly maintain clay can result in two things. First, is blockages, which this line is exceptionally close to. The other is damage. Damage is really what you ideally want to avoid. What happens with roots is as they grow into the line and they go without maintenance, they continue to grow just thicker and thicker to the point where they'll start to actually break or damage the pipe. Right here we have a septic system, so this property is not on city sewer. You can see the brick lining just ahead. If I continue forward, I'm going to do a drop down. It looks like what we have here is something called a leach field. A leach field is where water is slowly introduced into the ground at a certain depth predetermined at the time of installation that can handle that water. This tank looks like an overflow. This is the field here, so as everything drains into this system, it drops straight down. The camera's not going to make that drop the way I want it to. If that leach field is overburdened, the water then comes and starts draining into this tank. So move the camera down, you'll actually see this tank. I'm just going to get an idea of just how deep it is. My camera's basically just dangling now. So this is the bottom of it here. Almost. Yeah, it's not getting any use. It looks like it's all empty. This even could be. Almost looks like a manhole there. Before I absolutely classify this as a septic system, I want to find out if this is a style chimney drop, which it just might be. So what I'm going to do is bring the camera right back to here, and I'm going to go ahead and locate this area. Regardless of what this is, this would be the end of what we're able to inspect. We have now looked at every piece of line that we can examine. I'm going to locate where this is, mark things out, and I'll make notes on these items. But as far as the sewer line is concerned, the cast iron is looking to be doing okay. The clay, however, is excessively root intruded. It has not been maintained the way that it should be. In order to get that maintenance done, a proper access point would have to be installed. The entry point into the system that we've used today would be absolutely impossible to clean the line from. So for that reason, I'll be recommending a good, a well-placed main sewer line cleanout installation. Given the severity of the roots and the lack of maintenance, a more aggressive method of sewer line cleaning will be necessary called hydro-fitting. It's a high-powered wash. Through special fittings, it's capable of removing roots and debris much more thoroughly than any other method, and the reason is it helps catch up on all the deferred maintenance. Hydrojetting is also, when properly performed for a residential property, accompanied by a camera. That camera is used not only so that they can see where they're jetting, so that they don't damage anything, but also it helps to ensure that they've actually cleaned the line thoroughly. But the other thing that they can do is kind of assess the pipe's condition in some of those root intruded areas, which is quite simply impossible for me to do. I could not see large sections of pipe. All I could see were roots or just a little tiny piece of the pipe in a root infested area. So that is going to conclude the video portion of this examination. Again, do refer to the written report for all of the final findings and recommendations. This is Jeremy Williams with Sewer Line Inspectors. Thank you very much, and have a great day.